Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. The England squad is set to be announced in the next 30 minutes for Euro 2020. And there is some shock revelations today. As of this morning, it was highly tipped that Trent Alexander-Arnold will be missing out on a Euro space. However, that has now changed. And according to most outlets, most sources, Trent Alexander-Arnold will be part of the Euro 2020 squad along with Saka. Both were tipped to be left behind. Jadon Sancho and Jack Grealish, again, two players who have been left out of multiple squads by different pundits, different professionals over the course of the last few months. They are set to both be at the Euros. The predicted seven to miss out. Greenwood, we know, is injured and he isn't going to be there. But Godfrey, Lingard, Ramsdale, Ward-Prowse and Ben White are the other five. Mason Greenwood makes up six. The seventh is the one that nobody's too sure on. Is Saka now being spoken as being out? Well, that's changed again. I literally saw things saying Saka was in. If Saka is out, then that is the squad, ladies and gentlemen. Literally, as I said a few moments ago, I've been seeing Saka all over my timeline saying that he's going. Now he's saying that he's out. Wow, if Saka's out as well, that's a big breaking piece of revelation as well in relation to that. A few people saying Saka is crap, but there we go. The squad will be officially announced very soon. The speculation can end. But if Saka is the seventh, then it's Godfrey, Greenwood, Lingard, Ramsdale, Ward-Prowse, White, and Saka that miss out. Trent Alexander-Arnold, though, is highly tipped to be part of this squad. The announcement is going to be coming in the next 25 minutes or so. We're going to build up to it with you. And when it's announced, we're going to go through it. We're going to talk about who we think is going to win the Euros today as well. Who we think the standout player or players will be across the whole tournament. And we're going to talk Oppo as well. We're going to speak about the other nations at this tournament, who we see as favourites, how we think they're going to get on in a relation to that. There's always surprise packages. They may not be the winner, but we're going to go through that now. Players we're looking forward to seeing and all that jazz. You can see along the bottom the agenda for today's show. So stay with the Football Terrace. We will be taking calls. We'll be getting some of the panel on. I know KJ will be here as well. Let's go to some of your live comments that are coming through. And the big question, we're not going to ask the question yet, but we want to know, is it the right squad? Where are the weaknesses, etc., etc.? So we're going to be here with you for the next couple of hours or so, digesting everything that comes through, taking your calls. You're going to have some call to actions as well. We're going to put some questions to you, some thoughts, some feelings, some opinions across as well. We want to get your super chats in, member chats as well. And let's go to your live comments as it stands right now. Why is Southgate taking 4 right backs? That's an interesting question. And for me, it's fairly simplistic, really, in my opinion. I think it's more to do with, how do I say this in the right way? I think it's more of an element of ensuring that he has, how do I say this? I want to make sure, I don't want to phrase this wrong, but essentially I think it's, he doesn't look at all the players as being solely right backs. Like some of them can play left back and right back. Walker can play right-sided centre-back, same as Reece James. We've seen him do it for Chelsea. You've got Trent that Southgate believes he can actually move into a more midfield role. So it's going to be very interesting. Slens here says, it's so worrying to you that Greenwood has been playing through an injury for so long. Not overtly. I see a lot of Man United fans talk about it. It's fairly normal in football for players and all sports for players to play hurt and to push through these things. Am I glad that he's not going to the Euros? Yes, and he's going to get it better. But let me give everybody an example. If we go back to 2008, for the back end of the season of 2008, Cristiano Ronaldo had a bit of loose bone in his ankle. Cristiano Ronaldo had ligament damage to his ankle that required surgery to fix. But he managed it for the last 6 months. And of course, played in a tournament in the summer of 2008 as well, the Euros. He then had the surgery, missed the beginning of the season, and his career's gone on to be okay. This is a very regular occurrence. In my opinion, Slens, people have made conflict. If Ollie wasn't our manager and a top-class manager was that everybody was happy with, there'd be no concerns about players playing through injuries. This is just common occurrence. I remember listening to John Terry talk, your greatest ever captain, about how he played for almost a whole season with back back injections that took pain away and then had the surgery in the summer. It's just the way it is. I'm glad that he's taken the time away, but I think it's fairly normal. Do I wish that Rashford wasn't going as well? As a Man United fan, yes, I want him fit and fresh for us. But players have a finite amount of time they can spend on a football pitch, and they will always play through injuries as and where they can. And maybe it's just deemed this time that he couldn't go on any further. But does it worry me? Not so much, because I think it happens now and it will continue to happen in football. Does it make it right? No. Do I want players to always be 100% when they're playing a game? Absolutely. But we're kidding ourselves if we think it's going to change. The only reason certain Man United fans focus on it is because they don't like Ollie. But it's a pretty common. I bet you if you were to go into that Chelsea dressing room and talk to all the players that kicked off in that great final on Saturday, some of them are playing through injuries. Many of them are having pain-killing injections. Many of them have been told you need surgery to fix this or 6 months of X, Y, and Z to fix that. It's just a fairly common occurrence for me. Lots of going on in football as well today. And I know a lot of people are talking about the situations with Ancelotti rejoining Real Madrid. And as I predicted on the show, maybe we'd see David Moyes go back in the other direction. That has been tipped to potentially happen as well. Lots of transfer rumors going on. We'll touch on some of them throughout the course of this show as well. We're going to share the link fairly soon for you all to come on, for you to have your say in relation to this. But what I do want to know, one of your first big questions for today is, who do you think is going to win the Euro 2020? Who, in your opinion, is going to win the Euros? Get your live comments in now. Get your super chats in. Get your member chats in for the Football Terrace. But the big news regarding England, we're waiting for it to be confirmed. But the big rumor is that Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to Euro 2020 with England after being highly tipped to miss out only 24 hours ago. We want your reaction to that. We want your thoughts on that. We want your feelings on that. Please, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we need. Let's go to some of your predictions here that are coming through. Portugal is what Herb believes. It'd be interesting if it is Portugal. Lots of people in here saying Portugal, to be fair. Lots of predictions. A few people saying Italy. France, of course, coming up a fair bit. The Netherlands. Matty here. Matty thinks it's going to be England. Matty thinks England have got a chance. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Do me a big, big favor. If you are just recent to tuning in, please subscribe to the Football Terrace, turn on the bell notifications, and make sure you've liked this stream. Very, very important to the Terrace that you hit that like button right now. Thank you very much, by the way. I need to find it here. It's gone past me. Here it is. I'm going to try and pronounce the name right. Himeshu, for upgrading your membership to squad member from academy member. That's a great compliment to the Terrace. So thank you very, very much for doing that, sir. It means a great deal. Apparently, he's going as a midfield option. Southgate has bottled it for me again, is what Slens believe. And I'm sure Slens will be calling in a little bit later. Has Gareth Bale bottled the decision around Trent? Is he given up on Ward-Prowse for Trent? And is that the right decision for the midfield area? Has he given up on Lingard in midfield for Trent? Is that the right thing to have done? We want your views. We want your opinions. Big opinion out there by man like Slens, you know. Man like Slens. Clint is putting £100. He's putting £100 on Italy to win. Why the shout outs for Italy? What about Italy makes you believe they're going to win? And I'm asking that genuinely. I don't watch Italian football, I don't watch the national team play. I don't follow them particularly closely. I want to know why you think that. I really do. Did I say Gareth Bale? I meant Trent. I have no idea why Gareth Bale was in my head. How I've had that Freudian slip. No idea. I'm glad you're all listening, though. I'm glad everyone's like, Bale, you know who I meant. You know, I don't know why did I think Gareth, what put Gareth Bale in my head? Is there something on I need to look here now. Do you know why? I've got TweetDeck up and there's a picture of Gareth Bale right there in the Wales kits. There we go. That's why it happened. I'm sorry. I apologize, my wonderful people. Terry, if France win, is Kante better than Patrick Vieira? Wow, that's a big question. It's a big question. I think when you look at all things in isolation, World Cup winner, Euros winner, Champions League winner, multiple Premier League winner with 2 different teams, I'm putting Kante in front of him. That's a great question. That's a great question. That is a great question to put forward. Tom Little here says only Southgate would be so clueless to be forced to take England's best right back out of position because he can't manage him properly. Well, I don't think it's about managing him properly. I would rather Southgate said no to Trent and picked his right backs and midfielders he wanted rather than succumbing to the pressure if that's what you think he's done. But it's interesting that Southgate's not a rated manager. And he makes everyone said the other day, you've got to take Trent. He takes Trent, and now we're calling him a bottle job. Do you see what I mean by agendas? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just putting that out there. Is that an agenda from England fans that they just don't like Southgate? What's your thoughts? What your feelings? Squad announcement in the next 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Next 15 minutes, it's out. We'll be letting you know, and then we'll be digesting it. KJ is going to be joining me in a few short moments to have his say with us right now about what he thinks and feels. Remember that provisional squad from the other. That does look like, by the way, one of the players we said might not go the other day was Ollie Watkins. Sounds like right now that he could be. If Saka isn't going, and you guys said Saka isn't going, I've seen tweets saying Saka might be. I think it's either Saka or Watkins. But everybody else is pretty much. I'm sad for Greenwood. I'm glad he's getting the rest. Oh, it's going to be Jude Bellingham's going as well. A lot of people the other day said Jude might not go. I think Jude's got a start. I think he's a sensational player, even at his young age. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. I actually think it is worse on Southgate to bring Trent and play him 0 minutes than to leave him out. Yeah, I mean, that would be even more frustrating for Liverpool fans, wouldn't it? Because he's not going to get that rest or anything in relation to that. But there we go. That's a great point. That is a great point. I support France, but Kante is not on level with Vieira, respectively. It's an interesting one. We can have that debate. We can have that debate live on the air. Get your views, get your opinions in. Member chats and super chats, of course, take priority. Let's do some more of these comments coming through here. Ollie Watkins over Calvert-Lewin. It looks like both are going, according to you lot, because we know who the other 6 players are that are missing out. Or do we? Does anyone think there's going to be a sting in the tower? Does anybody think there's going to be a, oh, I didn't see that thing coming? That's what's not happened this year. Normally you get a moment where that happens. Pav says Italy unbeaten in 25 games. Oh, is that why people are fancying them? I swear England went into a tournament recently unbeaten in a long time and didn't win it. But Italy have got more pedigree at tournaments, so I suppose that counts for something. We're going to get KJ on that to have his say with us in the build-up to the England squad announcement. Get your super chat questions in. Maybe you want to save them until the squad is announced. Remember, we're going to be going through the squad reveal at 5. Then we're going to be talking about who we think is going to win the tournament, who the star player of the Euro 2020 is going to be, and then who we're looking forward to seeing. A bit of Oppo talk as well. We're going to give you the chance to phone in. KJ's now with me. How you doing, sir?
Sorry, I'm staring out a dog. 2 seconds.
Staring at a dog?
Yeah. My Dre's dog is just sharking me, so I'm just feeding to it. Marley, go away. There is a dog here, by the way. Look. Oh, he's run off. How do you, mate?
Didn't want to be caught on camera.
Nah, I didn't want to be caught on camera. I'm good, man. I'm good.
What's your reaction to the strong rumors that Trent Alexander-Arnold is going?
Here's what it is. Like, for me, it's just Southgate should have picked what he wanted to pick. He clearly has been letting fan opinion and nation opinion pick his team. And that's, for me, is the part where I'm just like, taking him or not, you're still showing weakness. You know what I mean? You're still showing that you're trying to pander to everyone. You've made a 33-man provisional squad to include players who have come out and said they've been crying with their parents because they're getting an England call up, just to say to them, oh yeah, by the way, you ain't coming anyway. Like, why would you do that to someone? What is the point of doing that?
Yeah.
And so for me, the whole thing is just a massive farce, really. Like they've built it up. They've built up this whole England squad announcement, the whole England team. Yeah, who's going to beat it? If England don't win it, you know how embarrassing that is? Because everyone else just got on with it. Everyone just said, here's my 26, 25, 24. How many they're taking? Boom. We're going to go start training now. Going to start focusing. We've taken a whole week or however long it's taken to distracting the squad, distracting the players who are about to go. Just for what? So Southgate can be like, well, I tried to give everyone a chance. And I come on, man. You got to be better than that. If you want to be a manager of a top nation, of a top winning team in the international stage, you can't be just pussyfooting around because you don't want to upset the players or the fans or anything. Make your decision. You know how many players Deschamps leaves out? How many players Deschamps brings in and people are like, oh, what are you bringing him for? But you don't care. My man just gets the job done and boom, World Cup.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm concerned about the handling of it because I get that there has been a hell of a lot of, oh, hang on a minute. Breaking news as it stands right now from Rob Harris. Jack Grealish is set to miss out on the England squad amid fresh injury concerns. Southgate did not feel he could take a risk with the forward. Jack Grealish may be out of the England squad. Rob Harris has just shared that as it stands right now. That is big bad news.
He wasn't going anywhere. Even if he was fit, he wasn't going.
Do you not think?
No, I just don't think Southgate likes him. I don't know why. But he will find a way not to include Jack Grealish. And this is the perfect out. The perfect out. And now I'm guessing Lingard could go.
Yeah, maybe it will be Lingard that is in now. Do you know what's interesting about it as well? Like a lot of people the other day were talking about how, earlier on today, that if Mason's got the injury, there's this element of, again, that made a really tough decision for Southgate easier, if you get where I'm coming from, because a lot of people will call in for Mason to go in front of Watkins, even in front of Calvert-Lewin in many cases, because we know how deadly he can be. But it does appear to have kind of got him off the hook a little bit in relation to that. But Jack Grealish not going for me, I think that's gutting. I was so excited to see. Do you know why it's even more gutting? You know, when you see young players at 18, 19, Phil Foden going, we're going to get to see Phil Foden at 3 or 4 tournaments. Jack Grealish is getting towards his late 20s. We've only got, there's only a small amount more time for him to actually be noticed, get out there, do his thing. I'm absolutely...
Yeah, and you know what's ridiculous? Jordan, you're talking about being fit. Jordan Henderson's not fit. How is Jordan Henderson fit enough to go, but Jack Grealish isn't? Jack Grealish has played 2 games or 2 or 3 games in the Premier League since. Henderson's played none, and he's fit enough to go, but Jack Grealish is not fit enough to go. It just makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. It's yeah, and that's one of the things, again, people always think you're being bitter. I'm not being bitter towards Liverpool at all. The reason I don't think Henderson could, he hasn't kicked the ball in 3 months. He cannot be match ready. There's just no way he can be match ready. And to a degree, if Grealish is out, based on what Rob Harris has said, and they don't think he's fit enough, I'm fine to accept that. But then you can't take Jordan Henderson. And I understand that the manager might say, well, they've both gone through fitness tests and Jordan Henderson has come through. But Grealish played the last 3 or 4 games of the season. There's no way. And he's a flair player. Even if he was to come on for the last 20 minutes of games, he's fit enough for that. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy for me. It's crazy.
He's a player that can actually impact the game. Like, yes, Henderson's got this great leadership. And yes, he can organize. But when you need someone to impact a game, when things aren't going your way, I'm sorry, but you're not looking to Jordan Henderson, especially from the bench. You're not. You're looking to Jack Grealish. You're looking to, if he was going to go Mason Greenwood, we'd look to go to all these different kind of Sterling, Rashford, all these different options, Foden, to go win your game. Henderson is not doing that for you. If he's not starting for you, he definitely ain't coming off the bench. To do what?
Mate, I couldn't agree with you more on that. It's worrying. It truly is. Viewers, do us a favor here, getting towards 2,000 people watching us live. Please share this on your social media streams. Please hit that like and that share button as well. Make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell notifications. Had a great meeting today. Studio's coming along nicely. We're going to be in there very, very soon. Very excited as well. So I want to let a few people know. We've got some behind the scenes pictures that we're going to be posting for squad members and above on our social pages a little bit later. So if you're a squad member or above, you're going to get to see some of the behind the scenes footage of us building and putting it all together. We did actually go to I'm not going to say who they are because they might find out, but we sent a few people today to a competitor who have got a really great sort of studio set up to see how things were done their end and take pictures. And the set's going to look different, but in terms of lighting setup, bruv, do you know what I mean? It's going to look amazing. So, and a lot of people saying thank you and congrats, but listen, it's thank you to all of you for making this possible for the terrace. Oh, it's coming out very soon. The announcement, it is. We're going to be getting it up. Well, I'll put you just there for a sec, KJ. We're going to be putting it up on the screen. There's going to be a live reaction to this. We're going to be sharing it with you as ever. I'm going to put it up. I'm just going to share the screen that it's going to be on now because it'll be coming through very soon. And we want to help bring this to you all live on the air. So it's going to be coming up on here. That's the official Twitter feed that's going to be feeding it through. So stay with us. We're going to be putting that out as and when it gets announced. You'll see it first live here. In relation to the rest of the England squad, though, we kind of know a lot of the usual suspects. Do you think we're going to play with three at the back?
I don't recall us playing three at the back through any of the games recently. It's been four at the back with two holding midfield players. So I can only assume from the recent games that we're playing four at the back. But if that can easily change, and if tomorrow they play three at the back, I believe we're playing three at the back at the tournament. Tomorrow is the biggest tell of how Southgate's going to play, because there's no point of chopping and changing. Oh, this might work, this may not work during the friendlies when the tournament's in 10 days time. Makes no sense. He's got to pick his. Obviously, he's picking the squad now with that crop of players. He has to already know what he wants to play, and in that friendly, has to start playing it.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I see another tweet here from another verified journalist that says that the announcement's coming in 6 minutes' time. His sources have said that Lingard, Trent, and Ward-Prowse all miss out. And this is the thing of it. Like, there's so much like conjecture. What I also find funny as well is loads of people I know that don't like England that literally all the time tweet they hate international football. They don't support England. They're all like, I'm going to do a space talking about the squad. Let's go, people. If you're not an England fan, do one. Absolutely do one. I mean that sincerely. Saka can multitask. Do you think Saka should go?
See, I'm very careful when it comes to like young players going to tournaments. Like, I don't think it's necessary for young players to go because they've got such a big career. They don't need the pressure. I personally wouldn't take Saka just for the fact that there's so many people that play in his position on both sides, and then also as fullback, that he could miss out on a Euros, and it wouldn't really affect him at all. Like, it won't affect his career. It won't affect how good he is. It's just one of those ones where I feel like it might be better for his development. Hey, you're not allowed on here. You know that. Get down. There you go. Sorry, it's the dog in it. But yeah, like, you don't need Saka to go. You don't need Saka to go. He could, but how much game time he's going to get? He doesn't need to do that. I'd rather Saka not go, develop his game further, and when it comes to the World Cup next year, him go and actually get games.
Yeah, like, do you know what? I understand. I think there's this. It's just the balance, isn't it? It's around. When I look at Saka,
I don't eat that.
Would I be happy for Saka to come on and, from the bench? Is he the kind of player that from the bench could deliver for England? Yes, I believe at this tournament 5 substitutions are allowed in game. So you sort of look at it and think, we're in a knockout game and we need to score a goal, and you've got Watkins, Calvert-Lewin, Rashford, and Saka on the bench. You can make so many like attacking substitutions that way. So I kind of look at it and I want him there for those reasons. But I do agree with you in the sense of England have had this propensity to put so much pressure on young players and destroy them if they don't quite deliver. You know, that's one of the reasons why I don't want Rashford to go. It's not even about the injury, because I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's risking his long-term career playing through injury, because I know that most football players do it. I just find it's only a small number of players, depending on who their manager is, that get focused on for that. As I said, I gave the example of Ronaldo doing it, and he's done okay. You know, was Fergie a bully for making him play with a bad ankle? No, it just is what it is. But I don't want Rashford to be there, because if we don't perform, certain people will turn it into ice because Rashford. Do you get where I'm coming from? It's like with Raheem Sterling. Whenever he puts an England shirt on, I'm desperate for Sterling to deliver because of the external crap that they get that's above and beyond anybody else. So that's my issue and concern with it, really.
Yeah, I see some people saying, why you hate on Saka for? He's good. Like, no one says Saka's bad. You know what I mean? Saka is... I don't want Saka to go because I think he's so good. Like, for his career, for his development, I'd rather him miss out and then go next year when he's more developed, more used to the pressure of playing for England. Because people can say, oh, they're going for the experience and that, but like, if they're going to experience and all their experience is losing and getting pressure and getting vilified from the press, what on earth is he going there for? Like, you're just literally putting him into the firing line for no reason. Like, Phil Foden going makes sense because he'll get games, and you know he will. Even Jude Bellingham going makes some sense because he will get games in the midfield. But your Sakas, your Greenwoods, those two players are there. You're questioning, will they get games? And if it's not, they definitely will get games. What experience are they getting from being with the England squad during a tournament that you're not going to play in? Like, I'd rather I believe in this. Every single man in my squad will be able to play games. Whether it be 10 minutes here or whether it be a whole 90 minutes, every single man of those in the squad is ready, is fit, and will be used. If you're taking a player to purposely not use them just for experience, don't bring them.
I'm now being told that the Rob Harris thing about Sancho that somebody quote tweeted was reportedly false. Someone just made that up and copied his name on it. I saw a number of people. So if that's the case, then fair dues. We will pull away from talking about that, but we only report the news as we see it trending. And if Rob Harris hasn't said that, then fair play. We'll remove that from our pieces until then. That hasn't been confirmed. Just one person replied saying that. I hope Grealish is there. I truly do. It's going to be announced any second now. The announcement is going to come through. We'll be bringing it to you live here on the Football Terrace. So make sure you stay with us. Hit that like button. Hit that share button as well. Very, very important that you bring that to us, that you do that for us. It really, really is.
To that question, I was the only one on the panel that says Greenwood should. No, one of two people that said Greenwood shouldn't go to the Euros. To that question about Greenwood, about me, would I select him? I said no, for the reasons I already listed anyway. So
yeah, no, I hear you on that. The squad announcement should be coming momentarily.
Alive? Is this alive? Is that what we're seeing?
Yeah, well, there's a video that I can't. I'm going to put it up. I'm going to put a video up.
Home sweet home.
But I can't actually play the video fully. Otherwise, I'm going to end up getting a copyright strike, as it were. But they're playing a video now, so they're going to be bringing the announcement. I'm sure it's going to have the players' names on it and stuff like that. As it stands, bear with me a second while we're waiting for this to come through, people. I don't know what this is going on here. It's all playing. There's like a video playing, which I'll put up on the screen now so you can kind of see it. Here, you see that they're playing like an intro video to let us know what's going on.
And like Wretch is on this song as well.
Yeah, so I can't play the song, so obviously for copyright reasons. But that's coming. The announcement will be.
You can skip forward. You can skip it.
Okay, cool. 1 sec, bro. Yeah, cool. I'll do that now. Let me just do that now. Hang on, because it's going to play music if I do that. Sorry, mate. Just give me a second. See, announcements at the end of it. So we have it here. I can put it up on the screen now for everyone to see. There is the squad. And as you can see, Saka has made the team. Jack Grealish has made the team. Trent has made the team. There it is. Mason Mount, Jude Bellingham, but we'll go for it in order. Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson's name is first. That is very, very interesting, to say the least. Sam Johnson, Jordan Pickford, Trent, Chilwell, Connor Cody makes the team. Reece James makes the team. Harry Maguire, Tyrone Mings, Luke Shaw, Stones, Trippier, Walker. Midfield, Bellingham, Henderson, Mount, Phillips, and Rice. And then up front, Calvert-Lewin, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Kane, Rashford, Saka, Jadon Sancho, and Raheem Sterling. The 7 that we told you earlier would be missing out have all indeed missed out of this squad. There you have it. That is England's squad for Euro 2020. I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. Let's discuss this now. We're going to be opening up the lines. I'm going to share the link in the live comment section for you to phone in and for you to have your say. We want to know how you feel, what you feel about the announcement of this team. But this is the official England squad for Euro 2020. It is there for us all to see. That is it. KJ, what's your first thoughts on that, mate?
4 right backs. Also, what was the point of holding it if this is going to be the team? Was there any real shocks? Really? Let's be honest now, was there any real shocks in this team? This team is probably the best team you could produce from the England players that we've got right now. So to me, there's no real shocks. There's no real like, oh my Lord, have they not taken him?
Yeah.
The whole thing was pointless. There's a lack of midfielders, which is kind of like that. Does that mean you playing a double pivot? Does that mean maybe someone from the defensive batch of players will be playing midfield? We will have to see. But this is the best squad that England could have taken, and yeah, you just got it. Now it's all down to Southgate and how he plays them.
And it just goes to show, it depends what rumours people listen to, because as we said at the top of the video, we believed that Saka was going, and then he was announced and Saka is there. A lot of people said, no, he's out, definitely out. Obviously, there's the Jack Grealish rumours at the last moment. Clearly not true. He's part of this team. Look, I think the only person what's interesting is the midfield looks thin because of that, but we only really, the way football's gone, we're clearly playing with a double pivot.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing with the double pivot at this tournament. Mason Mount's been included, so will he start these games? And then we're going to be playing with some sort of 4-pronged attack. So whether we're playing 4-2-3-1, we might go 3-4-3 with the squad on a regular basis. I cannot see us playing a kind of 4-4. There's going to be no variation of 4-4-2. I don't even think 4-3-3 will happen with this squad. But then you do have Jack Grealish. You do, of course, have Phil Foden that can go into midfield positions
as well, and Reece James, who've played midfield at some point in there.
Yeah, absolutely. They can move into those areas. Trent has been spoken about as maybe being played in those positions. But look, for me, I have to say, I know there's been a lot of debate and a lot of frustration and a lot of annoyance when it's come to this squad. But I have to say, I'm impressed. I'm excited about this squad at the Euros. I'd have loved Greenwood to have been there. And if Greenwood was fit, then maybe Saka would not have been there. But that is exciting. When you look at that front line, especially, like I said earlier, when that rumor came through 20 minutes ago that maybe Jack Grealish wouldn't be going, I was gutted. But to see Jack Grealish, to see Phil Foden, to see Jadon Sancho at an international tournament for England with their skill, with their ability, creating things, something we just haven't had, forward-thinking, creative players for a very long time. We've got the goal scorers in Harry Kane. We've got a goal scorer in Raheem Sterling when he's on form. Rashford can score goals. Calvert-Lewin can score the goals. But those three with their creativity is absolutely amazing as far as I'm concerned. We're going to go to some... Go on, mate, go on.
Get the kit numbers up as well, because they should be out too. I know I don't necessarily care, but I do. I'm one of those guys that cares about.
I think numbers are coming out at 10 past. I think at 10 past they're coming out.
It's in the squad numbers announced 5 minutes past.
Yes, that's coming really. That hasn't come out yet. As soon as we get that, mate, I want to go to some calls. First on the show, they give us his thoughts and feelings. We've got Tom Littles here. What are you saying, Tom?
Considering everything that was thought to be, it's a pretty decent squad. I don't like the inclusion of Connor Cody. It scares me with a 5-back because I feel the only way you can play against the quality attacks that these other nations have is in a 5-back. I don't think he's quick enough in a 4-back. So that scares me. I think Gareth Southgate, if it doesn't go right in these warm-up games and in game one, I think he might go for a comfort 5-back option if needs be.
Yeah, I think Connor Cody is the backup to Harry Maguire. Because if you play him 3 at the back, Kyle Walker is playing right side of centre back because he's got the pace. Left side of centre back could easily be Luke Shaw. You know what I mean? It easily could be Tyrone Mings because they've got pace and they're both left-footed. Connor Cody doesn't start for this team, so I don't think you should be worried about Connor Cody because he won't be starting.
I just thought we had Ben Godfrey in that preliminary squad. I thought he should have really been in there with a shout.
Yeah, I do agree. That's probably one good shout. That I think Ben Godfrey is a better football player than Connor Cody. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Maybe the thinking is we've got a lot of young players, Trents and Reeses of this world, Judes. Maybe there's an idea to have a few more senior men, like grown-ups in the squad to maybe keep things together as an example. And what we don't see is the quality of, and I know a lot of people won't like hearing this, but it's true, is blends of people, characters, leaders, people that can orchestrate a team. And he may not even be playing, but it's important to have that. So maybe those reasons are why, but I do agree. I would have preferred Godfrey.
I would have preferred Tomori over.
Well, yeah, I mean, he would have been, but he wasn't in the. I mean, it wasn't in the preliminary, so it almost becomes. We weren't expecting that today, which I totally get. I think Tomori is a really bad admission from Southgate, regardless. Trent's been picked though, Tom, but there's a lot of talk of him being used in midfield and not in fullback positions. What's your thoughts?
I don't know. I don't think he's ready to be a midfielder. I feel like if you play him in midfield, I've been saying it a lot as a Liverpool fan, if you play him in midfield, you sacrifice his best assets because he's going to struggle to put in the volume of crosses that he can and the quality of them. Not
necessarily. If it is a 4-3-3 that England play, he can still go out wide in those spaces. If Southgate is good enough to do this, that's a different question, but he can still go out wide, get the fullback to cover that space he leaves, and he can still be whipping in those crosses from the right side. And it also reduces the amount of one-on-one defending that you would have to be doing as a whole, because that is his weakness. Like some of the quality wingers that you'll be coming up against in the international tournaments and a lot of counter-attacks he'll be facing, I'd rather see him in the midfield tracking back with a couple of men helping him than him 1v1 against a Koeman or Dembele.
It is a fair point. I just feel that he hasn't played in midfield for a long time. He's been right back mainly for the past 3 years. And he's going to be chucked in at the deep end in the Suns if he's playing in midfield. There's no easy way to play your first games in a relatively new position for 3 years when there's a lot of expectation around this England squad to go far. And I just hate for him to play in midfield and struggle a little bit.
No,
it all goes on him.
Absolutely. Listen, mate, we'll keep you backstage, get you back on with the panel when we start talking about who's going to win and everything else. Top man, Tom, thank you. Next caller, we're going to do a little 5-minute fury here. So you're going to come on and we want to play a little game with the audience. So the audience, this is going to be massive for you here. No pressure on everyone who's backstage. They're going to come on and start giving their opinion, whatever their opinion is about this squad. If you like what you're hearing, right, write the word top bins. Write the word top bins. If you don't like what you're hearing, write the word get in the bin. If you're saying get in the bin and that's dominating, then the caller gets cut. If you're saying top bins, we leave them on to keep talking. So you, the viewers, you are going to control how long these next few calls last. So top bins for good, in the bin, or get in the bin. I think get in the bin. Get in the bin. I like get in the bin. If you don't want them to stay on the air, don't start writing it now because I'm not getting kicked out. I can't be kicked out. I have anonymity. I'm above the law. I'm the queen when it comes to this. So we're going to go to our first. We're going to go to our first caller here to speak about the England squad announcement. And that's the wrong one. That's the one we wanted. Our first caller is going to be Abs. Abs is here. Oh, he's frozen. Abs ain't even ready. Call back when your internet's working. So we're going to go to Jeremy. Jeremy's coming on first of all. What are you saying, Jeremy? Go.
It's Jeremiah, not Jeremy. So.
Sorry, Jeremiah, go for it.
The squad, like I said, I'm not giving Southgate this tournament because of the last World Cup was amazing, But can I go back to the squad, please? I want to show you the players that shouldn't be there. There's some players that shouldn't be there, Like, I like the squad, but there's some players that were left out. Trent, I don't know why the press onto him. Like, if I was a manager, I wouldn't take Trent. I don't care what the press media go do to me. Like, I wouldn't put Trent. Trent has been poor this season, And the midfielder, I wouldn't take Hugh Bellingham. and Bukayo Saka, Jude Bellingham, yeah, like yes, he has a good season, yeah, but the fact is he's not ready yet. It's his first season, yeah, playing at the highest level. So I will personally want to take him, yeah. I'll make because he's only 17, so I'll make him go to the next tournament. And Saka, like I don't know what's the point of picking Bukayo Saka because like Saka, like there's so many wingers here, like there's Sterling, Rashford, Kane, Jack Sancho, Grealish. So I don't know how he's gonna fit in.
Bro, listen, the audience, listen, good views, good opinions. The audience is putting you in the bin, my guy. But thank you very, very much for coming on and having your say. That's nature of the beast. Nature of the beast in relation to what we're doing here. Sorry, Cage.
I'm not gonna lie, but these guys will just say get in the bin for everyone.
Well, yeah, we'll see what the opinions say. Next up, Rams is here. Rams, welcome. Go for it.
Yo, I'll just look at the squad. Yeah, I think the lineup is okay. It's not too bad. You know, obviously Trent Alexander got to be in there. He's a quality player. I heard the whole thing about he can't play midfield. I don't think that's completely true. Like the way he plays for Liverpool, Kevin De Bruyne does the same thing. He goes out wide. Even if you go further back, Steven Gerrard and David Beckham, they used to hog that right hand side and cross the balls. And so easy, I think Trent Alexander-Arnold could be used as a utility player. But overall, yeah, the squad is okay. I've been hearing a lot of things about, you know, the top best team in the whole of Euros. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like France still have a good team. Our centre backs, they're not good enough. It's as simple as that. They're not good enough. Like Fikayo Tomori should be in this squad, but he's not. I don't know why Connor Cody's in there. Connor Cody's had a poor season for Wolverhampton Wanderers. And I don't know why Fikayo Tomori, he's had an amazing season with Milan, helped them get to the Champions League after about 8 seasons without Champions League football. So it's a simple. I don't know why he omitted him. It's as simple as that.
There we go. Listen, Ram, you got a lot of top bins there. We'll get you back on with the panel a little bit later. Top man next. This will be an interesting one to see how he gets on. Football terrace royalty in the house. Man like Adam Charles is here. Give us your views, bro.
No beard as well. Yeah, bro.
Hang on a fucking minute.
Yeah, man.
What is that moustache all about, bro?
Yeah, man.
Look at that.
Obviously.
You look grown, brother.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. But yeah, no, for me, the squad, I don't know what Gareth Southgate's doing. I think he was nervous. Because 1 minute Trent's in, then the next minute Trent's out. And yeah, it's just, I don't know what he's doing. Defense for me is the weakest part because I look there and I feel like it can be got at. Your defense, especially in international tournament football, needs to be solid. And Connor Cody, like Ram said, Tyrone Mings, even Trippier to a certain extent. I'm just looking at it thinking it's not nice. We all know about England's attacking talent. We know that we've got strength and depth there. So hopefully it's just going to be a game of how many we can score, and hopefully we can outscore the opposition.
Mate, I hear you. Do you know what's interesting? I'm kind of liking the difference in view. I think it's a really good squad. Well, do you know what? Let me rephrase that. I think it's really good in terms of it's the best that we could pick, barring maybe Tomori, the injury to Greenwood. But what it does highlight is that we've created all these attacking players who are brilliant in this country. But defensively, we've like really let ourselves down. Like we just think about all those days where we had to leave out world-class centre-backs back in the day. They couldn't all get into the England squad. Now we would kill for a Campbell, a Terry, a Rio, even a Ledley King. Do you know what I mean? Like we'd want any of these individuals there, 110%. Bro, we'll get you back on with the panel really, really soon. Top man, as always. Adam Charles back in the house with us today. Next quick fire call. We're gonna go to Slen. Slens is here. What you saying, my guy?
Yes, how you doing, man? You know what? You just made a good point about the defenders. Listen, why is no one speaking about Tyrone Mings, man? Like Tyrone Mings has had a terrible year, man. He's made a couple of mistakes that are just shocking. I think he's there because he's left-footed, okay, but you know, I was listening to Gary Neville speaking about this when he spoke about on Sky Sports. He's like, don't put players that aren't specialists in their position. And someone like Trent Alexander-Arnold again, I don't think you should play him in midfield because it's not a specialist position. You'd rather have someone who's been there, who's played that position for many years, who's plays it week in, week out. Like, don't try to fit players in for the sake of fitting them in. Do you know what I mean? So, listen, again, Tomori, Godfrey, they both should have been in there. Tomori's played in the back three under Chelsea, under Milan as well. He's comfortable on the ball. He fits all the criteria to be in the squad. But honestly speaking, man, for me, it's a good squad attackingly. I think Grealish, Sancho had to be in there. no one offers what they offer. So I think I'm happy with it. But defensively, it's shocking, man. It's poor.
Hear you on that, bro. We'll keep you backstage, get you back on with the panel real soon. Top, man, Slens. Do you know what? I think as KJ said, everyone's going to say, like, get in the bin. A lot of top bins are coming out here. This will be an interesting one. This is Oppo talk here. Man like Lamin is here. What are you saying, Lamin?
All right, Terry. Mate, I'm still on cloud 9, but yeah, we'll leave that for another day.
What's your take on the England squad, bro?
I think I agree with KJ what he said before. Why the big fuss, really? Because he knew the squad that he was going to pick in the first place. I don't have any major problems with it apart from Tomori not being in there. I think it's a good squad, not so by the manager. I think it's a shame we got Gareth Southgate as the manager. Otherwise, I think we could have gone far in it. But we wait and see, really. He's probably going to be very defensive. I'm not really fancying our chances too much just because of the manager. I feel he's probably going to do something dumb like not play Grealish until when he needs him, like he needs to bring a goal in. I really want to see Grealish start, man, because I think he's our most creative player, but not really having much faith.
You're supporting England here. I like to hear that, my guy. I love hearing that.
Of course, I'm supporting. I want England to do well, but I can't lie. There's part of me that wants, if England don't win, I want France to win. Not even France. I want N'Golo Kante to win it, just so we can get this Ballon d'Or debate. Well, yeah.
No, I hear you. So if it's a World Cup, who do you support?
If it's a World Cup, that's a techie one. If it's a World Cup, then yeah, it depends which African team is in there. If Senegal is in it, obviously that's by default.
Is that where you're from? Okay, Senegal, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Want England to win, want England to do well. Pop's going crazy.
I hear that. I'm always jealous of that. I've got a lot of friends that sort of support one or two different countries due to where they were born, where mums are from, dads are from, grandparents. I kind of wish my dad was French because then I could just switch allegiances to a good country. Do you know what I mean? Like it'd just be easy, but I can't. I got to support England. It's just frustrating. Lamin, go on, Cage. Yeah, listen, Lamin, thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate that, mate.
It's a great. Oh, what a time to be a Blue.
See you later. We don't need any more of that on the terrace. We don't need any more Chelsea fans.
Squad numbers are now here.
Squad numbers are out. Okay, what I'll do, I'm going to take down the screen that I had out. Squad numbers are interesting in terms of who or what they can actually mean. I'm going to get them up on the screen now. 1 second. Where are they? Why are they not on my screen?
It's on the Twitter page. You might have to zoom in
fresh
as well. Typically, it's normally about like if you 1 to 11 is normally your starting 11, then everyone else is squad players. But in recent times, everyone just takes whatever number they're used to. Because I know in N'Golo Kante won the World Cup with 13, played every game. You know what I mean? So it does change. But I can read it out while you get on there. So
yeah.
1, Walker 2. Shaw 3, Rice 4, Stones 5, Maguire 6, Grealish 7, Henderson 8, Harry Kane 9, Sterling number 10, Rashford number 11, Trippier 12, 13 goes to Dean Henderson, Phillips is 14, Mings 15, Cody 16, Sancho 17, Calvert-Lewin 18, Mount 19, Foden 20, 21 for Chilwell, 22 for Alexander-Arnold, 23 for, what's his name, Johnston, James with 24, 25 for Saka, and 26 for Bellingham.
Interesting. As you say, you look at those kind of starting 11, and in fairness, I would expect nearly all of that starting 11 to start regardless. Henderson, the question mark's over because of fitness. The rest, we kind of know that they're regulars. But I start looking at everyone else, and we're going to get onto it a little bit later when we come to star player, but I'm looking at some of their names out there: Fodens, Bellinghams, Jameses, Sanchos, and I'm getting all giddy for this tournament because I love it when a young player or a new player emerges as a hero. So absolutely love seeing that. We're going to bring the panel back on now to have their say with us. A big panel for this show now that we're bringing in. So we've got man like Adams here. We've got Ram. We've got Slens, we've got Tom, and of course we've got man like Neeks here. Oppo's in the house. I don't know. Neeks changes. Brazil, France. Who are you supporting at the moment, bro?
Brazil's not in in the Euros, but I'm just watching. I'm supporting Rashford and Cristiano Ronaldo, innit? That's how it goes.
I like that, G. I like that. What did you make of the announcement, bro?
I don't think Southgate had much option from the moment that Greenwood pulled out with injury. I think this is the best squad he could have gone with. There's a talk about the 4 right backs, blah blah blah. I mean, who else are you gonna bring? I know there's talk about Godfrey. There's talk about what's his name? Tamori. I mean, Tamori's the other one that could have gone. There's Ings. There's Watkins. Any of those 3 other than Tamori, they're not getting a minute on the pitch. So so what's the point of bringing them? Like Watkins wouldn't get a minute. Bamford for me wouldn't get a minute. Ings wouldn't get a minute. Ward-Prowse wouldn't get a minute. So I think there's more chance of all 4 of those right backs playing at some point in the tournament than bringing someone who you think, I need an extra midfielder or I need an extra striker. I think once Greenwood pulled out and the fact that Tamori wasn't really considered, I think this is the best option he could have gone with. I think it's a good squad. It's not. I don't think it's a. We'll get on to. I don't think it's a Euro winning squad, and especially him as a manager. But it's a good squad. It is.
Am I the only one that's still semi annoyed about Jordan Henderson going?
Henderson had to go. I think.
Why?
Why? Because he's a leader. And who's
also, why is he annoyed? I get why he's gone.
Yeah, no, I get why he's gone.
Okay.
But I just I feel like literally, this is just me. I have a feeling it'll just be a waste in the squad in terms of playing, because I don't think he's gonna be fit enough. I don't think he'll be ready. And
question is, who would replace him?
Ward-Prowse. Listen, Ward-Prowse can do his job, bro. You tell me Ward-Prowse couldn't do his
I wouldn't have Ward-Prowse anywhere near the pitch. Like, sorry, I like these guys. I like these guys.
If it was in November, then yes. But the last couple of months, he hasn't been good. He hasn't.
Wait, but KG.
Guess what, though? We've seen him for the last couple of months. What have we seen of Henderson?
I would rather a 50% Henderson to come on for 10, 15 minutes or whatever it might be to maybe have to solidify something than having Ward-Prowse as an option. I mean, we're talking about the England squad and, Connor Cody's there. They're picking 4 right backs. The depth in England ain't great. I'm honest, bro. Ward-Prowse, when you come against top internationals,
when
set piece, that's it.
Yeah, when Henderson's dropping that semi-final performance against Croatia in the group stages, you all are going to be upset. So don't come for me.
No, but I do get the concern with Henderson. I do get the concern with Henderson because it's this. If he's fit, fine. But you know what? This whole kind of I'd rather have an 80% fit. An 80% fit Henderson isn't as good as 100% Ward-Prowse, because at this level you lose too much. And it's more if he breaks down. It's more if he, if we're 5 minutes into the first game and his body breaks down because he isn't fit enough. Michael Owen went to a World Cup when he wasn't fit and he ended up rupturing his cruciate ligament because his body wasn't ready for the tournament. And if we lose Henderson to an injury, you lose, I don't know if you can call how well you can call it replacements. And we are thin in that area. So I am concerned about the overall fitness of the player in relation to that. But
I'm just wondering, Terry, though, would you say the same thing for Harry Maguire? Because he's also injured.
Yes.
And he's also been...
No, so I wouldn't, because Harry Maguire missed the last 3 games of the season and he's now ready to play again. Henderson ain't kicked the ball for 3 months. Do you get what I mean? I don't think Maguire is going to lose that so much. I actually think it was for England, Maguire missing the last 3 weeks of the tournament, the Prem, may be a good thing. He gets a little bit of rest as opposed to like 3 months. There's no way you're match fit. Look at Grealish when he returned after being out for 2.5 months. It took him 3 or 4 sub appearances until he could even start a game, and even then he was still looking a little bit. Like, I wouldn't expect Grealish to start the first couple of games either, because he's slightly behind, but at least he got 3 or 4 Prem games under his belt. But
Maguire,
it's going to be interesting.
Maguire is a worry. I'm not saying he isn't. He just come back from injury. So will he lack sharpness? Potentially, yeah. And he knows he's stiff as he is. Why is he carrying injury? But
who's England's first group game? Is it Croatia?
Potentially, yeah. You know what I mean? So it's going to be needed for
I do think, though, that Southgate's going to try and get Henderson some sharpness in them friendlies, because he really does trust Henderson as a midfielder to do that, whatever job he needs to. So I think we've got, is it 1 or 2 friendlies coming up? I know we've got one, is it tomorrow or something? He's really going to try and get him some sharpness in them, maybe some sub appearances in the group stages where he thinks we should
Yeah.
get through with other players, and then he's ready for the knockouts.
Absolutely.
That's what he should do.
How much sharpness at a high level can you get from like those two friendlies? They're not going to be going hell for leather because they are going to be conserving energy.
He should be able to get enough sharpness to make some sub appearances during the group stages, which then should give him enough sharpness to start in the knockout stages.
I think the one difference where I'm going to not defend the Henderson inclusion, but maybe it's different with Rooney and Beckham when they came unfit, they were talisman. They were there to win us, quote unquote, the tournament. Well, I don't think the same pressure is put upon Henderson. Henderson isn't seen as the crowning jewel or the chief playmaker or the
sounds like the way everyone's saying he has to go.
No, yeah. I'm only speaking for me.
Can I just say though, I think the reason he has to go, KJ, is because you mentioned Ward-Prowse. I don't think he's an adequate replacement. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he's good enough to start.
Think anyone in
that's why he's so important.
There is an adequate.
The gap is so high.
Yeah. There certainly isn't. Viewers, we want your views and opinions. Who would you have taken? Who should have missed out? Who's the shocking inclusion for you, viewers? Get your super chats in. Let us know what you're thinking and feeling. But the big question that we said we would pose is, has Southgate picked the right squad? I want your views. I want your opinions. Get your comments in. Now, we're going to move the subject on slightly. We're going to come back to England a little bit later. But who will win? Who's going to win the Euros, in your opinion, KJ?
France.
Why?
They're the world champions for one, so you got to take that into account. Two, they have the biggest pool of players that you could pick from, and they're good players. Like they should be releasing the provisional squad, not England. That man there, because their under 21s and their B team could challenge for the Euros. You know what I'm saying? That's how good they are. They've got a manager who's been to, remember, last Euros final, they were there. World Cup final, won. They've got plethora of experience, quality talent. You have to put them as the favourites.
Okay, how about yourself, Slens? Do you agree with anyone think anyone other than France?
I have like a dark horse shout.
Okay,
so do I.
Italy. I really like Italy's team. I think it's a young squad, and I like Roberto Mancini has the experience to take them through. I think Italy might be another dark horse for me.
I'm going Portugal.
Yeah, people
partly because I want them to win. Like, listen, if Ronaldo wins another international tournament, Messi, I just like to see Messi fans cry. I really do. But no, for me, I would love to see Ronaldo win another Euros. I think they've got a quality squad. Like you talk about Bruno, João Felix, Bernardo Silva, Ruben Diaz. I don't know if Pepe's in the squad, but the way he performed in the Champions League, I'd have him. I'd have him right there.
Man's a league
winner. He's a Ligue 1 winner. Like they've got a quality squad, and I think they often go into these tournaments a bit unfavored, but I think this is one of their better squads that they've had in the last even 10, 15 years.
They were the last European champions.
Yeah, I remember.
With the worst squad.
Manager Ronaldo.
Exactly. He won it as a player and as a manager. There's no doubt about it. A comment here from Manchester is Blue. He says, I'm going with Belgium to win the Euros. Do you know what's interesting? Have you noticed since Eden Hazard is no longer the Eden Hazard the Premier League remembers, no one's buzzing about Belgium anymore.
You know what it is?
I think they missed their time.
They're in transition now,
man. You look at their defense. Their defense is poor now. Like all their best players are aged.
Tonga is old. Alderweireld old. Meunier old. Like who are they going to?
Do you say Vermaelen? Vermaelen's in the squad. Vermaelen's in the squad.
Was he in the squad?
Wow.
That right there is reason why they ain't winning. What is that? Where's the young defenders coming through? Where are the middle-aged defenders, man? It's not good. And they've got Martinez as manager. Cool, isn't it?
The thing by Belgium is that quite a lot of their squad, they're in transition and they're starting to bring in these young players, but they haven't got that experience. Some of them played in friendlies and a low minnow qualifying team against people playing teams like San Marino. So it's understandable why you won't pick Belgium.
Is Januzaj?
Sorry, just quick. No, Januzaj is not in the squad, I don't think. Just quickly change it. I've got a super chat here I want to go to. Southgate just said, even though Lingard has been cut from the 26-man squad, he's starting in tomorrow's friendly.
No, he don't have a clue. He don't have a clue. He don't have a clue. What's the point? What is the point?
Nah, that's
He's
what,
my
that's what we
26-man squad
Wait.
for the Euros. We're going to
Is
play
this
it like
true?
not involved in it.
It can't be true.
It's
This
cap.
isn't
It's
true.
cap.
This is not
Cap.
true.
Cap. It's cap.
It's just,
I'm just going by the super chat. I'm not watching it. I'm clearly here working. That's what's being said there. You know what's interesting? You can really tell who truly supports England by that news, right? So I watched KJ, Adam, Ram, Slens, and Tom were all like, whoa! Neeks just smiled like that's hilarious. And he goes like, yeah! Like you can just tell who really, like no matter what everyone says on socials, you can tell who people support truly.
So Terry, let me read the thing. This is Simon Peach. So he said, this is on Ward-Prowse, Lingard, and Watkins. Those three I gave the option of going home, but they were all adamant they wanted to stay. They wanted to be part of the group. They know they'll be involved in these two matches. So all three of them are going to be involved in the two warm-up games, despite none of them actually going.
Tough.
I mean, what I would say, I think it's ridiculous. However, what is the status of the Champions League and Europa League players?
They're not
Because
there
if they're not
yet.
there, then you still need
That's
players
true.
in your squad. So that's the only thing.
Wait. How many players in the England squad are not going? They're not there right now because of the finals.
Well, so you're going to have Foden and Raheem Sterling, John Stones as an example. You've got Mount, Chilwell, Reece James,
Kyle Walker.
So you've got 7.
Then you got Rashford.
Not there.
Rashford, Maguire, Henderson. It's what, 11, maybe 10, 11?
Yeah, so that makes fair enough. That makes sense. And also they're on the backup list. So it should between now and I think it's like the day before the tournament starts. Should someone get injured, they could be called up. So the worst thing you would do, imagine you're Ollie Watkins and you go, I'll go home. You go on holiday and you're drunk in Las Vegas somewhere, and then you get a phone call and you're not ready to play. Like that would be utterly ridiculous. Ty sleeps. Says this is Belgium's last chance to be fair. But you know what? Maybe that will pose Belgium with a better opportunity. Sometimes when you're not fancied, it gives you an opportunity, which is why my prediction to win the Euros, I'm just going to say it. It's coming home.
It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming.
England are winning the Euros, and I don't care. And I don't even have a logical reason as to why. I'm just getting myself positive mental attitude. We're gonna win it. No one wants it. No one thinks we're just gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Harry Kane, top goal scorer, Rashford, sister. We're gonna kill it. We're gonna kill it.
That's how he's supposed to be. It's an international tournament.
Vibes it is not expecting to win. It's knowing that you're not going to and enjoying yourself anyway. But you're setting yourself.
But can I just say though? Can I just say, guys, are you worried?
I just know we're gonna do it. It's gonna be the same as the World Cup. Everybody's going to predict us to fail and fall. We're going to get a few little easy ricochets along the way. Do you know what it is? Southgate's one of those people in life. Southgate's one of those people, like he's like Teflon. Nothing sticks. It won't go wrong for him. It will just be that whole way. And I think he's going to win it. I also think some of the big boys will knock each other out. We're going to get an easy route. England, we're winning the tournament. Trust me.
I don't.
Do you know what?
In my predictor, France and England play against each other, and France goes through. So.
You know what?
110%.
Please.
Whoa.
Wait. Terry, keep the energy. Please, keep the energy. Keep going. And when you're going into your gammon red mode, with your tears.
I don't go gammon, bruv.
Don't go full gammon. Don't go full gammon. Just red gammon. No, when you get into it, just bottle the tears so I can inject it into my veins. Please. Thank you.
Why?
Guys,
I don't think I'm not sitting here gonna be screaming it's coming home. Because I don't
but you want it to be right though. You want it to be right though.
Guys, I'm gonna say something. As much as we banter England for having Southgate and not being the strongest team, your team does stack up well with the rest of the teams in world football nowadays. Let's be real. I'm looking at your team. Your defense is weak. Midfielders, there's some good midfielders in there, but your attack is your biggest strength. And if you cannot score goals this Euros, Southgate has to go.
And I agree with that. And do you know what it is? Like I'm obviously messing around a little bit and having a bit of fun. I'm an England fan. I'm allowed to get excited. But what I like about this England team is same as last time at the World Cup. There is no expectation. So on a real level, where do I expect us to go in terms of the quality of our squad and manager versus everybody else? I expect us to make the semi-finals at the Euros. That's where I expect this England team to be able to get to. But then that's always dependent on the route you take. Because if you manage to get France in the first round out of the group stage, which I think I don't know if it's the quarterfinals or last 16. I don't know what way around it works. I need to look. Then it's like there's no harm, no foul of being knocked out by France that early because of who they are. But I expect us to push towards that semi-final because of where we're at. But that's my expectation.
Back three.
My expectation versus what I think is going to happen are two different things. I think England are going to get an easy route and find themselves in a final. That's what I think is going to happen because Southgate's Teflon.
Can I just say though, you know, when it comes to the squads, the current teams, I've always feared in the international competitions 2 teams for me, Germany and Spain. Those 2 teams I've always feared. But you know what? The current Germany and Spain, I don't see them as strong, man. I think we have a better squad. And honestly speaking, if we face them, I think we can get the best of them. To be honest,
but that's where the managers come in.
Yeah,
do they have better managers than England? Yes, and that's
listen, I'm not going to disrespect Joachim Low in comparison to Southgate, but he has been underachieving at international level for a long time, and I'm surprised he's still there. They got knocked out of group in the last World Cup. Heung-min Son and his South Korean dons did a number on them. So, he's at the end of the road. Not saying Southgate can walk in his shoes of what he's done internationally, but Southgate shouldn't be scared of him in the manager.
Honestly, if England were in that same group as Germany, do you have as much confidence that they would have got knocked out during that World Cup?
But I expect in the World. Well, he was. I don't know. He was in Germany's group. Was it Colombia,
Sweden,
South Korea,
Sweden, South Korea,
Sweden.
Mexico.
They didn't have that hard a group.
Mexico. England beat Sweden.
England beat Sweden, bro.
Beat Sweden, and we beat. And look, it was a last minute header that the Colombia game. So we could have got out of that group.
I expect England. Honestly, I expect England to get to the semi-finals. If they don't, Southgate for me has underachieved with this squad, especially as you're going to have a lot of games at home.
What about you guys are looking at it wrong. You shouldn't look at it that way. You should look at it as when you get to the knockout stages, when you see the picture, that's when you can actually assess what you should expect.
But I said that.
But we're not there yet.
It depends on who you get. Sometimes you can be unlucky.
No, but you guys are you're setting yourself up for failure.
You just said you stack Southgate.
No, you didn't hear what I said.
No, but
I said if you didn't score goals with this account.
But bro, if we did it your way, it'd be a shit preview, wouldn't it? With no predictions until you know what after every game. You've got to give a feeling. One thing we are forgetting about England, though, a lot of our games are in England. The last time the Euros were here in 1919, it helps having a home advantage. Like all our home games are going to be 80, 90% England fans. That has a huge effect. None of you were even alive or remember Euro 96. The country, it was one of the most amazing. Think of the London Olympics, but better because everyone loves football. Like, I mean, polo don't quite do it for everyone, but every day was amazing. So I think that's going to help England as well. To be fair, I remember.
What about France,
guys? Let me just do this. Hang on. I remember Euro 1996 when with Wembley supporters. You'll never know Paul Scholes was Ince's way to golden goal. I remember the song. I can't read
he's
that.
Saying, let me say, he's saying, you remember that Paul Gascoigne was inches away from the golden goal. Remember at the back post when he just slid in and missed the ball.
I thought you meant inches. I was like, Paul Ince? What? I was getting confused.
No, inches, yeah.
It was. We were so close, and we were very unlucky. I always felt if England would have made that final, they would have won. They would have beaten the Czechs on the final day. We were brilliant at all. We smashed. Do people realize how good that Holland team were that year? We beat them 4-1. We killed them.
Sheringham and
Shearer. SAS up front, bruv. Shearer and Sheringham. Like it was amazing. And look, we weren't better than some of those teams, even on paper. But that home crowd, it always helps at tournaments, generally speaking. Do you know what I mean? It really does.
The last tournament, last World Cup, look how good Russia did. They lost on penalties against Spain, Croatia, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. You were saying about France, Igal.
Am I mistaken? Aren't France playing home games? Aren't other countries also playing home games in the group stages? Every group stage has their own designated area.
But the majority of games in
England.
The majority of the games in Euros are in England.
No, I get England. England will be playing all their games in England, and majority of the semifinals and quarterfinals will be in England also. But every major team has their own games like
Yes.
in their area. So France has their whole group in their area in France. So certain countries do have an advantage. England has probably the biggest advantage because the quarterfinals and the finals is in England, but every team does have an advantage. It's not just England.
Of course. Look, if England play France in a knockout game, even if it's in front of Wembley and we don't let any of the French in, I still make the French favourites. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not that stupid. Like, I don't think it's going to have that big an advantage over the world champions in that way. I want to move the talk forward. Before I do that, I want to do some super chats here quickly because there's still a few more things. Remember, if you look below on the bottom screen, who will win? We've gone through. We're going to go through star players next. Who we think the star or the rising star will be as well. Michael here of a super chat says 8 mad men really believe rubbish England can win the Euro. Only one person said that. Listen to what I said. Cedric here says Germany are not getting out of the group that has Hungary, Portugal. Is that their group?
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
They can get third place. They can get third place.
Oh yeah, they got that cheeky. They'll be lucky to get third place. Timo Werner up front.
Listen,
it's there we go.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why I missed that. So in terms of star players, gents, I want to go to Neeks first on this. Who do you think Euro 2020 is going to belong to in terms of the player whose face is synonymous with it?
I'm gonna say, you know what? It's actually difficult. It's actually so difficult. So I'm gonna be biased in it. Paul Labille Pogba. I think at World Cup 2018, I want to say he went under the radar because those who know, but a lot of the talk, especially with some of the pundits over here who don't rate him for whatever reason, was Kante carried him. When you actually watch them, Pogba was the best player in the midfield, including in the final. We know Kante's illness, blah, blah, blah. Australia, the first game against Australia, Argentina, he was brilliant in that game as well. And obviously the final itself, he was brilliant. But as far as the face of the Euros, I think if England can get to a semi, I think it could be the making of Phil Foden. I think, you know how Rooney had that Euro 2004, Michael Owen had a World Cup 98. I think Euro 2020 could be Phil Foden's. Obviously, we know who he is, but it'll be really like he has made it at the world level at 20, 21 years old.
Yeah, that's an interesting shout. How about yourself, Igal? Who's going to be the star of this tournament?
I'm going to go complete left because I looked at a lot of the teams and I'm like, who's going to implement their style and get the most out of one individual player? And I feel like Italy with Immobile could do magic because he does score a lot of goals and he could come out there and get early with weak opposition that they're going to be facing. He could get hat tricks left, right, center, end up getting 6 goals in the group stages. So I'm going with Immobile. It's a left shout, but the reason I'm doing that, all the other teams are strong and they have even balanced attacks. But Italy, Immobile could be head over heels attacking over everybody else and getting the most goals on the whole group stages.
I mean, really good shout. I mean, Immobile is a good shout. I'm trying to sort of sit here and look at it, and there's always the Mbappe is an easy, obvious shout. Ronaldo's another one. I think Ronaldo is already the top goal scorer in this tournament. He could go on to break records and everything else. Phil Foden, great shout. I keep seeing Jadon Sancho's face pop up in front of me.
Mbappe's not going to score many goals, Terry. Mbappe's not going to score many goals. I'll tell you this right now. That France team is very evenly balanced. You're going to get goals from everybody in that attack, not just Mbappe.
Okay. I'm saying, you know what? Yeah, this is Diogo left. Diogo Jota. I think Diogo Jota for Portugal will be the difference that they need to actually progress into those next stages because he's already shown it when he started playing for them that he's got something about him for that national team. What he's done at Liverpool this season, yes, the injuries hampered him, but he was amazing for Liverpool when he played. Here, I feel like he's going to have a bit between his teeth because he missed so much of the season that he's going to want to drive that team forward with Ronaldo and potentially be seen as not the next Ronaldo in terms of he's going to do amazing things, but for the national team, they look to him to be the guy. Because I think it's too early for João Felix. But for Diogo Jota, I can see him taking that mantle up and being like, right, I've already stepped up for Liverpool. Let me do it for my national team as well.
Interesting shout. Tom, who are you going with? Who's your standout star?
I'm going to go for a man returning to the French national team. I'm going to go for Karim Benzema. I think this is You know, it's been a long time out for him. This France team has a lot of expectations on them to repeat what they did in the World Cup, and I think they've got a world-class striker there now. Gone from the days of Olivier Giroud getting no goals in the World Cup. This is a striker who could get you close to double figures. He's just that good, and it's not like you sacrifice link-up play with him. He can still get you them assists with Mbappe around him.
Wait,
Close to what?
Get you close to double figures.
In the
No,
has that even happened in the international tour where someone's got anywhere near 10? That's
Maybe.
mad.
I think maybe Pele.
With the quality in that France team, with the attacking quality they have, he could do.
Yo, you do know international football scorelines
It's completely different.
Like 1-0, like 1-0 to like
they got Portugal and Germany.
So most goals in a single, most goals in single finals, 9. Ronaldo has done it. Most goals scored in final competitions. Platini got 9 in 1984. Ronaldo has got 2, 1, 3, and 3. You look at top goal scorers, they don't normally score more than 5 or 6.
I never said they get double figures. Said they get close to it.
No.
The 9.
I said close to double figures.
You think there's only one number that's close to double figures, and that's 9.
Can I tell you something?
You could get close. You could get 8 or 9.
What did I say, Tim? But I'm sorry, Bray. I've completely forgot your name for a second. I'm so sorry. Tom, I genuinely believe nobody in this France team is going to score more than 5 goals. They are a team that is going to
5
be
is a good number. 5 is a lot.
Egos. No, I know that's very generous. This is a team with big egos, and everybody's going to be spreading around the wealth. They're going to be sharing. They're not gonna have one player who's going to be a talisman scoring that many goals. Even if I would be surprised if one person took more than 2 penalties.
Jeez, man said communism.
Wait. Didn't how many goals did Mbappe get in the World Cup? Didn't he get like 5?
Who? I think 4.
He got 4.
I think one time Griezmann and
Giroud. There really isn't going to be someone isn't going to score that many goals, right? Ronaldo has got 9 goals in 21 games in this tournament. Platini took the mick. He played in it once in 1984, and in 5 games he scored 9 goals, right? Shearer's played 9 games, got 7 goals. Griezmann has done well, 7 games, 6 goals. Ruud van Nistelrooy, 8 games, 6 goals. Rooney, 10 games, 6. People say Rooney's international pedigree. Euros, mate. 10 games, 6 goals is pretty damn good. He has, Henry, 11 games, 6 goals. Like, I look at it and think to myself, I can't imagine anyone going there and getting more than 4 or 5 goals because it's been done once.
It is hard. But it does make it sound like if they only get 1 goal in the tournament, they are terrible. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like a bad tournament.
No, I'm not saying
I think it's more about performances, really, and a lot of good players that have been mentioned. I know we've kind of scoffed over at Germany, but I feel like Kai Havertz could do bits at this tournament as an individual. He was someone that, rising star. I think he could do bits and pieces. Oh, the super chat. Yeah. Could Kai Havertz shine? Scored in the Champions League final. He could do. Germany's such an enigma because I never want to write Germany off. And Germany are also a team, by the way. Don't judge them on the. If they're playing badly and go out in the group stages, then they're out. But if Germany make it to knockout football, bet on them to progress through. They're just efficient.
Terry, we haven't mentioned someone. I'd love to say Timo Werner, Champions League winner, but I can't say that. For me, I'll say, listen, there's a guy we forgot, man, Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't entertain conversations of GOAT because I think it's Messi above him. But if he performs in this and wins this tournament, then you know what? Like, I might have to start entertaining conversations.
No, Slens, but Terry said you did mention Ronaldo because he was an obvious one. Like,
okay, yeah. But but you never know, man. If he can win,
you want to know who the betting odds are to be the highest goal scorers? It's Ronaldo, Lukaku, and Harry Kane.
Sorry, who's Belgium got in their group? Lukaku does score a fair amount. To be fair, who's Belgium got in their group? Because they attack.
Easy one.
They've got an all right group. To be fair. It's whoever's stuck in that group F.
Because he could bang a hat in the first game, and then
Okay, so the Belgium group is Belgium, Denmark, Finland, Russia.
That Finland game to start that.
Group is very hard. In there, 5-6 goals in there. Listen, we're going to refresh the panel a little bit. Tom, Ram, thank you both very much for coming on, Tom and Ram. I really appreciate that, boys. Thank you very, very much indeed. Appreciate that, lows. We've got David's here, Daniel's here. Gents, how you doing?
Good. I'm just happy. I'm just not happy with people roasting my second country. Jesus Christ.
What's your second country?
Germany.
Speak to Joachim Löw because he's been
Yeah,
saying
Last World Cup they struggled, but they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll come second in the group, and then we'll see. I'm really not on this Portugal-Italy hype. You know, these two teams, I really think they're overrated. I really do. I don't see Italy making it past quarters. Neither do I.
You know who Italy has in their group?
Yeah, I said I don't see them making it past quarters.
We'll get to that point in a minute. We're just going to finish off star play. I want your boys' opinion on who you think the star, who you think is going to be your star player or your rising star.
I think everyone's mentioned really the main name, so I'll probably go with a left field one. I think Dominic Szoboszlai could have a really good big impact because with these tournaments you have these left field guys. Because I remember in Russia, obviously fair enough, it was in Russia, but you had that guy who went on the Magic.
Golovin.
It was crazy. So Szoboszlai just recently got his move to Leipzig. He's expected to be a huge star in world football. He's quality actually. Like I've seen him play a couple of times, especially in the Champions League as well. He's got the Havertz swagger about him in terms of how he plays and how languid he is, but he can dribble past players and whatnot. He is in the group of death, but I can guarantee you, out of the three big teams that are in that group, like one of them is finishing last. Like it's not going to just be the predicted first, second, and third for all of it. Hungary will finish above one of the bigger teams. I can guarantee that for sure. Because I think Szoboszlai for me.
Apparently he's injured. Yeah.
Oh, is he injured?
Oh, is he? There we go.
If he's injured, then that's tight.
How about yourself, David? We've got a super chat here. First of all, it says Kante for Ballon d'Or if France win the Euros. Henderson, Mount, and Rice midfield. Lewandowski star player. I mean, all those things could. I mean, star midfield with Mount with Henderson is pushing it, but for a slide dig in there with Tom being gone. How about yourself, David? Who are you picking as your star boy?
I don't like them very much. I do like their kits. I mean, Holland, they're just coming back for their first tournament. And I think maybe like a Frankie de Jong's always a great player, but I think like one of their fullbacks could have a really good tournament. I don't know why. I've got a weird feeling like a Dumfries, maybe a Donyell Malen, something really out there, just because it's their first tournament back after missing the last two. So them just coming in and just causing havoc to whatever team.
Say it, Gini Wijnaldum. Gini Wijnaldum just got a goal and assist last game he played.
I don't care. I could care less. Their resurgence came with a Koeman, yeah? There was the proper resurgence of the looking decent came with a Koeman. He's gone. Frank de Boer stinks. Frank de Boer stinks. He's not a good manager.
Okay, what did Jose call him?
First ever Premier League manager. Was that Jose?
He said if Rashford wants to learn how to lose, he should be managed by Frank de Boer.
Yeah, how he's got another job is crazy. We're going to move on to Oppo talk in a minute, but before we do that, on star players as well, though, I love a football story, or I love something that happened that feeds into a narrative. So, I can imagine just to wind Man United fans up that Donny van der Beek has an amazing tournament, like balls out, just because it will trigger him. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Why don't we get it? I would just love to see, because it's what we saw in the back end of the Champions League. Every time Chelsea played well, Man United fans were honestly triggered. They were like lemons jumping off cliffs. It was like, calm down a little bit. It'd be amazing. Hang on, I missed that one here. Baz says Mount has been better than Kante in 2021, so by that logic, Mount should win the Ballon d'Or if England win the Euro.
You should have saved that £5 for chicken and cheese.
No,
I agree.
Baz, more of the same, please, my brother. More of the same. Thank you very, very much. Listen. I think it's a tough one. I mean, if a Chelsea player balls out at the Euros and their country wins it, there's like, if Mason Mount is amazing, scores 3 goals, and is pivotal in England winning it, then we can have the conversation. But Kante was so good in that final, it's going to stand him out. And he is just so good.
Wait. If Kante wins the Euros, he's winning the Ballon d'Or. And it's just for narrative.
Did you say any Chelsea player?
Relax. Oh, go on.
I'm about to say it's not because he don't deserve it. He deserves the nomination.
No, he actually doesn't deserve to win it.
Yeah, but you know what the French football are like, fam.
Yeah, exactly.
They've got politics, and the way Liverpool got done dirty last year, and the fact they broke Muller's goal record, it's gonna be.
That's my point. It's gonna feed into the narrative. One, he didn't win the Bundesliga Player of the Year, which he should have, but he didn't. Haaland won
That was
that.
fan voted.
Yeah, no, it is. And Kante, the narrative is there for a guy like him to win the Ballon d'Or. And to be fair, for Chelsea prop to have a Ballon d'Or winner to join Man United,
Another trophy.
No, I hear you on that, gents. We're going to move on. Oppo talks. We've kind of picked on who we think is going to win. This is more of a bit of Davies thread earlier. You know, who's going to flop? Who do you think the dark horses are? Who are you looking forward to just watching at this tournament? And I think there'll be a big casualty in the group stages. And I think one of France, Italy, or Germany will definitely go out in the group stages. And I think that they're nearly always the big thing in relation to that. And of course, France and Germany are both in that group of death. So that's my sort of take. And I think someone big's going to fall out of this tournament. I also get a feeling there's going to be a run from like a smaller nation. My little outside bet on that is Turkey. I think Turkey are going to do a few bits at this tournament. They've not been. I can't remember the last time Turkey were at one of these tournaments. So there's a few things like that. How about yourselves? I'm going to go to Gal first on this. When it comes to Oppos, who's going to flop? Who's going to stink it out? Who's going to shock the world, in your opinion?
Okay. I don't know how much you guys rate Croatia, but the fact that they're in the group with England, Scotland, and Czech Republic, I think this Croatia team that was in a World Cup final, they're not getting anywhere near that. They might lose in the group stages, in my opinion, and England and Czech Republic might be finishing that group.
So what about Scotland? Do you reckon Scotland can get out of there? Oh, Scotty Mack leading the way.
No, unfortunately, I like the Scotland team. They're a very lovable group of guys with Robertson, John McGinn, Kieran Tierney, and all of them. But I don't think they have enough. They just don't got that it factor.
That is the kind of thing I want to see, though. Like I know Scotland are kind of loose. They're part of the UK, so they're like their homeland country and stuff. But I love seeing a team that shouldn't be there. Does that make sense? Like I'd love a Scotland or a Wales. Maybe a Sweden. I'm sort of looking at these small teams. I mean, North Macedonia. I don't know how big that is.
Alioski.
Yeah, I'd love to see a team like that.
Do you know who my dark horse is, though, Terry? My dark horse is Austria because they're in an easy group with Netherlands, Northern Macedonia, and Ukraine. No. They have good players. Don't forget, they have Sabitzer, they have David Alaba. They have some decent players. They could do something.
There you go.
I'm not saying they're going to win it. They're going to go far, though.
That was going to be my team that flops because them man are a disappointment. Every tournament they're in, oh, look at the players they've got. They play well. Arnautovic is on form. You've got Alaba. You've got Sabitzer. You've got all these man.
Where's Embolo?
Huh?
Where's Embolo?
Wait, there's a team we're forgetting, by the way. There's a team we're forgetting. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, every tournament, you're like, oh, yeah, Austria are going to do bits. And they flop every single time. These men stink. And it annoys me because they've got good players, but they're always just flop. So they're my flop of the tournament, man. That man is going to do nothing again. Ukraine will beat them to it.
I've got a shout, man. Listen. Spanish national team, man. They took Eric Garcia instead of Sergio Ramos. I'm sorry. Alvaro Morata up front. Let me repeat this. Alvaro Morata, that striker, I've seen him at Chelsea and it hurt my eyes watching him play football, man. So I think that Spanish team isn't as strong as it used to be. I think they're gonna catch a drubbing from, I don't know, like a little 4-0 maybe in the knockouts, but they're one of the worst squads I've seen from Spain in a while, to be honest.
Their best wingers are Dama Traore.
Wow. No.
It's mad how cycles.
You constipated?
It's mad how cycles work in football, though, isn't it? Because, like, if you go back 10 years, how good Spain were, if you would never have said, in 10 years' time, we're going to laugh at Spain's squad. Like, we've got holes in England's squad, but I wouldn't swap it for Spain. Do you know what I mean? Like, but you wouldn't have thought that 10 years ago. To be fair, it's I love how these things are swings and roundabouts.
10 years ago, France's team was terrible. Spain's team was amazing. England's team was terrible. Everything just goes in cycles. You're right, Terry.
I think we're talking about teams that could flop. I think England could flop. They have that. I think they could easily flop because look, at the end of the day,
I miss Adam, man.
You think you can't go wrong with this squad, but you can, man. Like, personally, is Maguire fit to really be starting, which he probably will start? Is he really that fit? Henderson going, in my opinion, I don't think it makes sense. He hasn't kicked a ball in that February, and he's going to probably go there, and you might see him start. Like, how many times have England taken injured players and taken that risk? And we've taken the best of the best injured players. Now we're taking these squad players, injured players that are main parts of the team that are going to be starting. I don't know, man. And Southgate has all the minerals to get this wrong. He literally has all the resources to get this wrong in his management style and everything that we've seen from him so far. So, boy, I don't know.
Can I just say quickly? You say everything we've seen from him so far. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's this great manager, but the only tournament he's been in, they got to the semi-finals, isn't it? I know how we kind of got there, and but
he's been in two.
Other than that, it's just what's the other one?
Nations League, semi-finals for Nations League.
Oh my god!
Okay, so you've been to two. All right, so you've been to two semi-finals.
No,
so
we've been to the final. We got to the final of the Nations League. In the final, we lost to Holland in semis. They won it. Sorry, my
yeah, so he's been to two semis in national tournaments. I mean, if that's what we're gonna go by, then he's got a good track record.
Are we still counting that World Cup? Of course, I love the vibes, and I want England to win because it's just.
You have to count it. You have to count it.
It's a World Cup. I phrased it wrong. It counts, but let's put the context there because that's what we do. Let's put the context. The one challenge he had, which was Croatia, they bottled it. And at the end of the day, this England team up against France, up against the best teams in Europe right now. Do you bank on them to have enough to beat them?
No. But I expect them. But I expect them to beat the other teams. And it's not beating the other teams, which would be classed as flopping. I mean, losing to Portugal, losing to France is normal.
Is the tournament has the tournament been set? As in, do you know who will play who from second and third?
Yeah. I think it's pretty much. I think it's done. Yeah, you need to. But it gets really confusing because it's like runner-up from this playing this. You've got the third place thing. So
I want to know who England will potentially face if they.
I think the group of death.
It's that group of death.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, so England get one of the group of death members?
Quarterfinals. Yeah.
Wait, do you know what that means, though? Do you know what that means? We could have in the round of 16 in Wembley, Germany versus England, which would be a madness.
England's winning it. England's winning it.
England Germany means we've had a good group stage and they've had an awful one. So you'd go into that and you would. I would never write Germany off and go definitely going to beat them. But I wouldn't go into it like hacking my pants. It's not like us having a really bad group stage and then having to play scraping through, and then you've got France. Like, end of the day, we'll see how we feel during the tournament, and you have to accept it. Yes, sometimes you get a bit of luck by a team like a bigger team being knocked out and it clears the way for you. But not being funny, some of our teams have won Champions Leagues and had that happen for us. You know what I mean? You get the luck of the draw, you get big teams on the other side, and you can only beat who's in front of you. At the end of the day, and if you get it to the final, then you're there. You win. Do you know what I mean? You can't turn around and be like, it doesn't count because we avoided 2 or 3 of the best teams because they all knocked each other out.
Terry, what I'm trying to say though is, as English people, and I'm part of people who do this, we overcompensate sometimes for our team, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. But I'm just saying, sometimes we kind of like put the curtains over our eyes and be like, yeah, we're gonna do this and do this. I just wouldn't bet on England. I would never. I'm not going to put.
I'm saying
put your money down, Daniel. Put it down.
I'm saying I think we're gonna do it. I ain't putting any money on it. I think all along my rationale is nothing to do with football. It's to do with like these things around because Man United fans hate Ollie and the way he treated Donny's gonna have a good tournament because everyone despises Southgate because of the way he talks and because he wears a waistcoat. I think he's gonna do well, and it's gonna immortalize him, and it's gonna annoy people. It's a story. He ain't even gonna deserve it.
I will tell you,
Gareth Southgate.
If England play Germany, Germany will win.
No.
Germany will win 100%.
If England play Germany and England win, then they're winning the Euros.
As somebody looking from the outside in, I don't support England. I've never supported England. I like the players because I watch them. But I'll tell you guys this: this team, if you guys cannot dominate some of the teams that are in the group stages, you will know that Gareth Southgate is not the guy anymore, and you have to move on. But in this season, in this Euros, the main priority should be sorting out that defense. Because are you going to play with the back 3 again?
Yep, I think they should.
You're shaking your head, Gal. They've got to. Teams play with a back 3 when 2 together are not good enough, and 2 together at Man United are not good enough by themselves. They need the back 3.
Who's going to be on the right side? Is it going to be Kyle Walker again, or Reece James?
Or I'd play Reece James there. Reece James was banging there for Chelsea. So Reece James is an option there. That's why he's taken.
He didn't get eaten alive in the FA Cup semi-final though.
Well, that's why he's taken.
No, he didn't.
He didn't. Reece James actually kept Jamie Vardy quiet. That's why.
Both times as well.
That's why.
I don't know.
That's why.
No, don't worry.
That's why they've taken 4 right backs, because of the other positions they play within the setup that they're going with. It isn't about having 4 players just for right back. I've never seen a more jaded fan base than you Englishmans. There's some holes, but player for player, the team is a top side. Chill their F out. It is jaded. It is post-traumatic stress. We understand that.
He supports America.
You actually start reviewing other people's squads. You start looking at their defenders, and it's like, I don't know too much about them or whatnot, and stuff like that. Are you off, Adam?
No, sorry. He said he supports America, innit? So I was saluting.
It's Canada, and Canadian.
There we go.
You know what it is? Yeah, I would believe in this, but when the squad came out, I wasn't as excited as Terry because I just feel worn out from the whole waiting and it's bare leaks, and so they took the fun out of it. But if Southgate wasn't the manager, and even if we had Eddie Howe or Graham Potter or someone like that in charge, I would be more looking forward to it and probably chat more smoke. But it's literally, for me, it's just about that Southgate.
So basically, the way you treat Southgate is the same thing you criticize United fans having to go at Ollie for.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I don't
got
care.
you. Got you there, Chief. Got you, Chief.
Can I ask a question?
I have no shame, bro.
Can I ask a question? You know, I don't think a stream can go past without throwing a bit of shade at Arsenal. What's Bukayo Saka's role in this squad?
I don't know what Southgate's going to do.
Honest question. What is his role in this squad?
He's going to come in as a game-changing left wing back to impact the game going attacking. When you want somebody in the game who's more forward-thinking and more attacking, you're going to replace one of your left backs with him, or if you're going to play a front three, you're going to put in one of the front 3 spots.
Go on, Miguel. Tell him.
See, but that's the thing. If I want to change a game and I've got Foden, let's say the options anyway: Foden, Grealish, Rashford, Sancho, Calvert-Lewin. I'm trying to think. Can't remember who else is there. Mason Mount.
Okay, let me educate you for a second.
Wait. Can I finish my sentence?
You lost me at Calvert-Lewin. I'm sorry.
No. Well, find yourself again. Find yourself.
Calvert-Lewin.
I'm bringing all of those on in their respective positions before I bring on Saka. I understand the left back one, maybe, yeah. You probably might bring him on instead of bringing on Chilwell for Shaw or Shaw for Chilwell. But in the forward positions, I wouldn't bring him on.
I honestly don't care. I don't care. You guys enjoy him.
You responded to my question, so you obviously care. You obviously care. You didn't have to answer. Leave it to Adam. Let Adam answer.
Let me finish. I personally don't want him to get injured. So as long as he comes back healthy to play for my team, I'm happy. But what he can do for England, he's a versatile player. He can play on both wings if needed. He can play on both wing back roles if needed. He can play in the hole in behind both strikers. If you have 2 strikers up top, he can play a plethora of roles. And if you play him and you start him, what you can do is you can change your tactics mid-game.
I actually think where it'll also be, I think when I look at that England squad, he's the second best right side of the attacker that we've got, because you've got Sancho that's head and shoulders above Saka, like years in front. But you don't want Rashford there. Sterling never plays on the left. Kane and Lewin and Foden and Grealish are all left or central players. So it's that right-hand side of the attack where you see him playing. Where maybe him and Trent fight out over it. I don't know. But for me,
I'm going to be honest, I'd rather see Phil Foden out on the right-hand side.
Of course you would, because you're a hater. But
Adam, relax yourself. You did the words. Bukayo Saka is a bad footballer. Come out of my mouth,
bro. It didn't mean to.
No, it didn't. Shut your mouth, yeah, and relax yourself.
It didn't mean to.
There we go, guys. Just quickly interject. Monstar's backstage. Slens, I'm going to switch it out just because we're going to listen, bro. Thanks for coming on, having your say, top man. I want to get Monstars. We're really close to finishing this stream. I want to throw Monstar in to give us his opinion. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. Well, I didn't come here to talk about England.
Oh, that's all we're talking about. So thank you very much. Good night, everyone.
You cannot let them run away. No, Adam, I start with you.
I'll leave.
I've got quotes.
I will leave, bro. I will
said.
leave. I came to talk about England. No one gets to run. No, all of you come here. Every single one of you. Listen, you guys have committed crimes against football. Your own words. Yeah. All of you. Adam, I start with you. Edouard Mendy is not even any better than.
Yeah, I did that. We're here for England, bro. We're here for England.
What's the legit play for the rivals, you know?
Listen, Daniel, you've got your own show. Like, what? How many in a couple of hours, fam? Do it there, bro.
No, but KJ, do you know what? I'm not talking before anyone removes me as well. I'm not here to
Do
talk
him as well, man.
But Monster deserves this because if I'm Monster, I create a montage of all the clips that have been said across the whole season and release that because, bro, he's been through the wars.
You know what though? All I know is this: I've done nothing but praise Chelsea all season, so I'm clear. I am clear.
You praise Lampard. You praise Lampard.
I just praise what I see in front of me.
Terry's already admitted that he's waiting for us to drop, and then he's gonna laugh with everyone else. As well.
Of course, I'm a rival. I will always do that. It's like Liverpool. I said Liverpool the best team in England for 2 years. They were. Since they started losing, I started cackling like. For you. But yeah, show tonight 8 o'clock, everyone. It is a Chelsea-based show, but they're covering a few different bits and pieces tonight. Anita is hosting, so make sure you're tuning in for that one. In relation to that, I'm sure there's going to be. I don't know who he's even on it because I'm not organising it, but I'm sure it's going to be entertaining to say the least in relation to that. But look, I have got to go because I've got to be at that show starts in an hour and a bit. And I've got to go out. So listen, everyone who's come on.
Can I just say one thing quickly, Toby, before you finish?
Go on, bro.
Pray for the rivals. Simple as that. Pray for the rivals. It's over.
For a while, definitely. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again.